If you had billions of dollars, what would you do? Spend it on yachts, fancy cars, and jewelry? Most people would quit their job immediately, but not these people, because while their combined net worths equal literally hundreds of billions of dollars, they realize the most important thing, that true wealth isn't determined by your net worth, but rather your experiences and people you surround yourself with. What you're about to hear will completely change how you think about wealth, work, and what really drives the ultra-rich. Because some of the wealthiest people on earth still clock in every day, still wear name tags, still ask, would you like fries with that? And the reasons why will shock you. Welcome to Home of Finance. Subscribe to help us on our journey to 1,000 subscribers. Meet David Chen. Every morning at 5 a.m., he unlocks the doors of a McDonald's in rural Ohio. He flips burgers, cleans the fryer, and deals with angry customers just like any other fast food worker. But here's what his co-workers don't know. David is worth $2.3 billion. Why does a man with that much cash work at McDonald's? Is he crazy or a genius? Turns out, a little of both. Because just 5 years ago, he was the CEO of a revolutionary tech company. Private jets, penthouse apartments, a garage full of Ferraris. He had it all. In 2018, his artificial intelligence startup was valued at $4 billion. He was 34 years old, living the American dream. He told Forbes magazine that success wasn't about the money, but about changing the world. He had no idea how prophetic those words would become. The call came on a Tuesday morning. His CFO's voice was trembling. They needed to talk, immediately. His business partner had been embezzling millions. Fake contracts, phantom employees. The FBI was already at the door. David realized he'd built his empire on quicksand. Everything he thought he knew about his business, his success, his future, it was all an illusion. Within 6 months, David lost everything. Legal fees devoured his personal wealth, the company collapsed, his reputation was destroyed, his wife left him, friends stopped returning calls, and his penthouse was repossessed. David stood in that empty apartment, holding a cardboard box with his only remaining possessions. He had $247 in his bank account. He didn't apply for another CEO position. He didn't call up his network for a bailout. He walked into that McDonald's in Ohio and asked for a job flipping burgers. Why McDonald's? Because it was real. For 20 years, he'd been playing a game with imaginary money, making decisions that affected people he'd never met. But when someone orders a Big Mac and he makes it perfect, and they smile, that's real value. That's honest work. Here's what David never told his McDonald's coworkers. He's been quietly rebuilding his fortune. Those coding skills? He's been freelancing nights and weekends. Smart crypto investments. A small but growing consulting business. By 2023, he was worth $2.3 billion again. More than before, he lost everything. But he still shows up to McDonald's every morning. But had David not lost everything, he likely never would have returned to a normal job. Unlike our next billionaire. Meet Princess Amara Al-Rashid. Every day at 6 a.m., she puts on a housekeeping uniform and cleans hotel rooms at a Marriott in downtown Dubai. Her family controls oil reserves worth $847 billion. She's personally worth $23 billion. So why is she scrubbing toilets? Amara grew up in unimaginable luxury. Servants for everything, private tutors, a different palace for each season. She had everything money could buy, but she had no idea who she was without it. She was 25 years old and she'd never even made her own bed. The turning point came during a charity visit to a refugee camp. Amara watched a mother working 3 jobs to feed her children. The mother told her that kindness was appreciated, but it doesn't pay rent. That night, Amara made a decision that shocked her family. She would work a regular job for 1 year. No royal treatment, no special privileges. She needed to understand the value of work, not just the value of money. She needed to earn something with her own hands. Her first week was humbling. She couldn't figure out the vacuum. She mixed up cleaning supplies. She was exhausted after just 4 hours. Her supervisor said the new girl had potential. She kept going, learned every task, earned her coworkers' respect through effort, not title. Her colleagues noticed something different about Amara. She listened when they talked, really listened. Most rich people look through working-class people like they're invisible. But Amara was still lucky. She had access to her billions of dollars even though she never decided to use it. But Marcus Thompson wasn't as fortunate. By day, he drives for Uber in Los Angeles. His passengers have no idea they're riding with someone who was worth $12 billion just 2 years ago. Marcus was the crypto king of Silicon Valley. His exchange processed billions in transactions daily until it all vanished in 48 hours. A catastrophic hack, poor security protocols, $8 billion stolen by hackers who were never caught. Marcus watched his life's work disappear in real time. Every notification on his phone was another million gone. By Thursday morning, he was bankrupt. Now he drives 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's heard every type of conversation you can imagine. Young entrepreneurs celebrating their first funding rounds, talking about becoming rich. Marcus wants to tell them that the money comes and goes, but can they live with themselves when it's gone? He makes about $200 a day, enough for a small apartment and basic food. Some days, passengers tip him more than he used to spend on lunch, but he sleeps better now than he did when he was worth billions. Pennies compared to Rebecca Santos, who, for 3 nights a week, stocks shelves at a Walmart in suburban Texas. What her co-workers don't know, she owns the company that supplies half the products she's stocking. Rebecca built a retail empire worth $31 billion. Her distribution company serves 15,000 stores across America. So why does she work the night shift at Walmart? Because she refuses to lose touch with the people who make her success possible. Every product she stocks, she asks herself, is this really serving customers? Is the price fair? Would she buy this for her own family? Working alongside minimum wage employees opened her eyes to problems she never saw from the boardroom. Her co-workers work harder than people half their age, but the company still doesn't give them enough hours for health insurance. Within 6 months, Rebecca's company implemented the highest minimum wage in the industry, full benefits for part-time workers, profit sharing for all employees. Those changes cost her company $400 million in the first year. But they were the most profitable investments she ever made. Productivity went up 30% and turnover dropped 80%. But perhaps the most famous example of a billionaire working a normal job happened right before our eyes during the 2024 election campaign. Donald Trump, worth an estimated $2.6 billion, put on a McDonald's apron and worked a shift at a Pennsylvania location in October 2024. For 2 hours, the former president and future president operated the fryer, served customers through the drive-thru, and experienced what millions of Americans do every day. The media called it a publicity stunt. Critics said it was staged. But here's what they missed. Trump didn't have to do this. He could have held another rally, given another speech, made another promise. But unlike most of the billionaires we covered, Trump didn't do this out of a lack of cash. He did it because his political opponent Kamala Harris claimed that she used to work at a McDonald's many years ago. However, there were no official records confirming this. So Trump did what Trump does, took advantage of the situation, and used it to become president. These billionaires didn't take normal jobs because they had to. They took them because they wanted to remember what it feels like to earn something through effort, not just ownership. When you've lost everything and rebuilt it through honest work, money becomes a tool, not a master. That's the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Thanks for watching Home of Finance. Subscribe to help us out on our journey to 1,000 subscribers.